Small yard? Plant these 10 gorgeous ornamental trees. Hello, beautiful souls of earthly delights. If you're here, it's because you know something magical. That even a small corner of earth, a little yard, a modest patio, or a cozy balcony, can be a canvas for beauty, life, and joy. You're not just growing plants, you're cultivating a sanctuary, a living story, a piece of art that reflects who you are. Maybe you dream of sitting under a canopy of blossoms without needing acres of land. Maybe your heart beats a little faster every time you see a delicate flower dance in the breeze. Or maybe you're simply longing for a way to bring structure, peace, and seasonal magic into the space you already have. Wherever you are on your green journey, today's for you. Because today, we're diving into 10 of the most gorgeous ornamental trees, specially chosen for small yards, patios, and home gardens, that promise to transform your space into a breathtaking oasis without overwhelming it. So grab your favorite tea, settle in, and get ready to meet your garden's next shining stars. And hey, if you love nurturing beauty in small spaces as much as we do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Earthly Delights family. Let's grow together. 1. Japanese maple, Acer palmatum. If there's one tree that feels like poetry in motion, it's the Japanese maple. Imagine stepping into your yard and being greeted by a living sculpture, delicate, layered, and breathtaking in every season. The Japanese maple is not just a tree, it's an experience. Its finely cut, lace-like leaves shimmer like tiny works of art, whispering with every passing breeze. Depending on the variety you choose, you could have a palette that ranges from deep, regal maroon to vibrant spring green, and even fiery golden tones in autumn. Some cultivars, like Bloodgood or Tamukiyama, proudly wear a rich red cloak all year long, while others dance through a full cycle of colors, giving your garden a different personality with every season. The beauty of the Japanese maple lies not only in its colors but also in its graceful form. Slow growing and typically reaching heights of 6 to 15 feet, it offers an elegant silhouette that's perfect for framing walkways, softening patios, or creating that wow moment right by your front entrance. And in winter, when the leaves have fallen, the tree's bare branches create a stunning silhouette against the frosty morning sky, a reminder that true beauty never really leaves. It just changes form. This tree thrives best in dappled sunlight or gentle morning rays, especially if you live in a region with hotter afternoons. It loves well-draining, slightly acidic soil rich in organic goodness, and appreciates protection from strong winds to keep its delicate foliage at its best. A Japanese maple pairs effortlessly with ornamental grasses, low-growing evergreens like dwarf boxwood, or simply stands proud on its own. If your heart seeks a garden that feels like a secret retreat, full of grace, mystery, and quiet elegance, then this tree might just be the soulmate your space has been waiting for. And trust me, once you plant one, you'll find yourself visiting it every day, marveling at how something so small can hold so much wonder. 2. Crepe myrtle, Lagerstremia indica. Now, if your dream garden includes vibrant colors that seem to set the whole yard alight during the hottest months of the year, then let me introduce you to the irresistible crepe myrtle. There's something about this tree that just feels alive, as if it's celebrating summer itself. When most plants are wilting under the heavy sun, the crepe myrtle bursts into glorious bloom, its ruffled petals creating thick clusters of color that drape over every branch like nature's own fireworks display. Depending on the variety you choose, you could be looking at brilliant magentas, passionate pinks, royal purples, crisp whites, or even bold coral reds. And the best part? This floral performance doesn't just last for a moment, it goes on for months. From midsummer well into early fall, turning your yard into a vibrant, living tapestry. But crepe myrtle's charm doesn't end when the flowers fade. As the petals fall, they reveal a hidden treasure, the tree's smooth, peeling bark, with patterns of cinnamon, silver, and soft tan underneath. It's like a secret second layer of beauty, especially stunning during winter when the tree stands bare but still so full of character. And just when you think it's finished, autumn comes, and the foliage transforms once again, with leaves glowing in shades of gold, orange, or fiery red, adding a final exclamation point to the year. What makes crepe myrtle even more irresistible for small yard owners like us? Its adaptability. Once established, it's incredibly drought tolerant, loves full sun, and doesn't ask for much except a little pruning here and there to shape it. Newer varieties like Natchez or Dynamite are even bred to resist mildew, an issue that used to plague older types. Whether you plant a dwarf variety that stays under 10 feet or let a taller one stretch up to 20 feet, crepe myrtle fits beautifully along driveways, beside patios, or as a standalone statement piece that demands, and deserves, admiration. If you're longing for a tree that can handle the heat while delivering drama, texture, and 4 seasons of visual delight, crepe myrtle might just be your garden's ultimate summer superstar. 3. Dogwood, Cornus florida and Cornus cosa. And if your heart longs for a tree that changes with every season, a tree that tells a new story with each passing chapter of the year, then the dogwood might just be the kindred spirit you've been searching for. There's a reason why dogwoods have been cherished in gardens for generations. When springtime arrives, before most trees have even begun to wake, the dogwood erupts in a breathtaking display of flowers. From a distance, it looks like the tree is dusted with soft snow, creamy whites, tender pinks, sometimes even subtle hints of coral. Yet look closer, and you'll realize the petals aren't petals at all, but bracts, modified leaves that cradle the tiny true flowers hidden at the center. It's a quiet kind of drama, but one that captivates all the same. As spring melts into summer, the dogwood shifts again, its broad, elegant leaves spread into layered tiers, casting delicate dappled shade, the kind that's perfect for cooling a bench underneath or softening the lines of a front porch. It brings an easy, effortless grace to small yards, adding structure without ever feeling heavy or crowded. But autumn, oh autumn is when dogwood truly shows its wild heart. The foliage turns to brilliant shades of scarlet, burgundy, or deep violet, setting the whole landscape ablaze. Then, just as the leaves begin to fall, bright red berries appear, clinging to the branches like tiny jewels, drawing in songbirds and adding one last burst of life before winter's quiet sets in. And even then, when the leaves are gone and the berries are picked clean, the dogwood still holds its beauty, its graceful branching patterns silhouetted against the winter sky. Delicate and strong all at once, this tree prefers a spot with a little afternoon protection, especially in warmer regions, and thrives in rich, well-draining, slightly acidic soil. A layer of mulch at the base will keep its roots happy and cool. And you'll be rewarded with a tree that feels alive in every sense of the word. If you're dreaming of a front yard that feels like it changes right alongside you, evolving, surprising, delighting, the dogwood is ready to take that journey with you. 4. Eastern redbud, Cercis canadensis. Now, if you're the kind of gardener who loves a little bit of magic, the kind that takes your breath away just when you least expect it, then you're going to fall head over heels for the eastern redbud. After a long, cold winter, when the world still feels gray and sleepy, the redbud steps onto the stage with a performance that feels almost too beautiful to be real. Seemingly overnight, its bare branches are smothered in tiny, rosy magenta flowers, clustering tightly along the stems, even right down the trunk. It's called cauliflory, and it gives the tree a look that's nothing short of enchanting. From a distance, the redbud glows like a pink cloud against the still barren landscape. A promise that spring has finally, truly arrived, and just when you think it can't get any better, the redbud transforms again. As the flowers fade, heart-shaped leaves unfurl, soft, fresh, and tender, depending on the variety. Those leaves might shimmer bright green, deepen to burgundy, or even glow with a golden hue, dancing lightly in the breeze through the summer months. Come fall, the leaves take their final bow, turning buttery yellows and rich bronzes, adding a warm, nostalgic glow to your garden before drifting gently to the ground. What makes the eastern redbud such a gift for small spaces is its natural shape, a wide, rounded canopy that offers dappled light without ever feeling heavy or imposing. It grows to a very manageable height of about 15 to 25 feet, which means it can nestle into a front yard, line a driveway, or frame a cozy patio without overwhelming the space. Best of all, redbuds are remarkably easygoing. They thrive in full sun or partial shade, adapt to a wide variety of soils. And once established, they're surprisingly drought tolerant. Little maintenance is needed beyond an occasional pruning to shape their natural form. If you're longing for a tree that brings drama, heart, and unmistakable joy to your garden each year, a tree that feels like a celebration of life itself, the eastern redbud is ready to be that unforgettable first burst of color in your spring story. 5. Crabapple, Malus species. Sometimes, the best things in a garden aren't just what you see, it's the way a tree invites life to swirl and dance around it. And if you're someone who dreams of a yard that hums with birdsong and color, the crabapple is a tree you'll want to meet. When spring first stretches awake, the crabapple answers with an explosion of blossoms so thick and vibrant that the entire tree looks like it's wearing a ball gown made of clouds. Depending on the variety you choose, those blossoms might shimmer in delicate white, soft pink, or deep, romantic reds, a sight so full of hope and sweetness it's impossible not to stop and stare. But unlike many trees that have their big moment and then retreat into the background, the crabapple keeps telling its story all year long. After the last petal falls, tiny fruits begin to appear, not the large apples you might expect, but charming little orbs that ripen into shades of yellow, orange, red, or even deep burgundy. These fruits cling to the branches into late fall and even through early winter, providing a banquet for birds and a splash of lively color against the muted tones of the colder months. And come autumn, the crabapple puts on yet another show, with leaves that blaze into shades of gold, amber, and crimson, echoing the fruits that still dangle like festive ornaments. What makes the crabapple so perfect for small yards is its versatile form. Most varieties stay compact, anywhere from 10 to 20 feet tall, and they come in an array of shapes, upright, spreading, or even weeping, allowing you to match the exact mood you want to create in your space. Crabapples thrive best in full sun and well-drained soil, but they're also surprisingly resilient, handling urban pollution, clay soils, and even tough winters with a strength that belies their delicate appearance. Whether you plant one as a proud centerpiece or weave it into a layered landscape with shrubs and perennials, a crabapple brings not just beauty, but energy, drawing birds, bees, butterflies, and neighbors who can't resist stopping to admire. It's a tree that doesn't just sit in your yard, it becomes a lively, ever-changing part of your everyday life. 6. Flowering cherry, Kwanzan, Prunus cerulata, Kwanzan. Now, if you've ever dreamed of stepping into a garden that feels straight out of a storybook, where every breeze carries a drift of petals and every glance feels like a scene from a fairy tale, then the flowering cherry, Kwanzan, is about to steal your heart. This tree is pure enchantment from the moment it wakes in spring. Thick clusters of double-petaled blossoms, so full and fluffy they seem almost too extravagant for this world, blanket every branch from tip to trunk. Soft shades of pink dance in the sunlight, and for a few precious weeks, your garden transforms into a breathtaking wonderland. And when those blossoms begin to fall, they don't just fade quietly, they create a delicate carpet across your yard. As if the earth itself decided to join in the celebration. Every step feels like a walk through a dream, every corner touched by the magic of fleeting beauty. But the Kwanzan isn't finished after the petals have drifted away. As spring deepens, its bronze-tinged new leaves mature into a rich, vibrant green, bringing fresh life and fullness to your landscape throughout the summer months. And just when you think it has shown you all it has to offer, fall arrives, and the foliage glows once more, shifting into warm tones of orange and copper, setting your garden ablaze with autumn's fire. Standing typically between 15 and 25 feet tall, the Kwanzan has a strong, vase-like shape that offers vertical drama without feeling overwhelming, perfect for small to medium-sized yards where every inch counts. This flowering cherry thrives in full sun, where it can soak up the light it loves so much, and prefers well-drained soil with occasional deep watering during dry spells. It's relatively low maintenance, needing only light pruning when young to shape its airy canopy and ensure good air circulation. If your vision for your yard includes romance, drama, and a little bit of timeless magic, the flowering cherry, Kwanzan, is ready to be the centerpiece of your living fairy tale. 7. Serviceberry, Amelincure canadensis. And now, Let's meet a tree that doesn't just offer beauty, it offers life, sustenance, and quiet wonder across every season. The serviceberry is like a hidden treasure for those who truly see their gardens as living, breathing ecosystems. In early spring, when the air is still crisp and the world is just beginning to stir, the serviceberry quietly bursts into bloom. Delicate, star-shaped white flowers dust its branches like a gentle snowfall, creating a soft, ethereal glow against the awakening landscape. Up close, they seem almost shy, but step back, and they shimmer, announcing the season's first true awakening with a whisper instead of a roar. But the magic doesn't stop with the flowers. As spring rolls into summer, those blooms give way to small, deep purplish red berries, sweet, juicy, and loved by birds just as much as by humans. If you've ever dreamed of plucking a handful of berries right from your own garden or watching a bright cardinal visit for breakfast, the serviceberry brings that simple joy within arm's reach. Through the heat of summer, the serviceberry's leaves provide airy, dappled shade, just enough to cool a patio corner or soften a sun-drenched fence line without making the space feel closed in. Then autumn arrives, and with it, one of the most spectacular shows a small tree can offer: leaves flaming into brilliant shades of orange, red, and gold, catching the low afternoon sun like a final, triumphant song before winter. Even in the quiet months, when the leaves have fallen and the berries are long gone, the serviceberry holds its quiet beauty. Its smooth, silvery gray bark and fine branching structure catch the soft winter light, offering subtle elegance when everything else has faded to brown. Flexible by nature, the serviceberry can be grown as a multi-stemmed shrub or trained into a graceful small tree, typically reaching between 15 to 25 feet at maturity. It thrives in full sun to part shade, adapts to a wide range of soils, and rewards even modest care with year-round gifts. If you're yearning for a tree that quietly stitches every season together, from flower to fruit to flame to silhouette, the serviceberry is ready to be the gentle heartbeat of your garden. 8. Dwarf Korean lilac tree, Syringa myri, Palaban. Sometimes, it's not just about what we see in the garden, it's about what we feel. And even more, about what we breathe in. If you've ever longed for a tree that stirs the senses and fills the air with pure joy, the dwarf Korean lilac tree might be exactly what your soul has been waiting for. Imagine stepping into your yard on a warm spring afternoon and being wrapped instantly in the sweetest, most nostalgic fragrance. It's the scent of lilacs, fresh, powdery, romantic, but with a twist. This compact beauty delivers all the heady perfume of traditional lilacs, packed neatly into a tree that fits perfectly in small spaces. As the lilac's blooms open in late spring, hundreds of tiny, lavender-pink flowers cluster along each branch, creating a soft, shimmering display, not overly showy, not screaming for attention, just quietly, irresistibly beautiful, like a whispered secret between the tree and the breeze. And because it stays smaller and more refined than traditional lilac bushes, the dwarf Korean lilac tree feels just right tucked beside a patio, flanking a garden path, or even in a front yard where space is precious and every plant must pull its weight in beauty and charm. Beyond the spring spectacle, this tree continues to shine. Its foliage remains dense and healthy throughout summer, forming a rounded, symmetrical shape that brings an elegant sense of balance to your landscape. In fall, the leaves take on a muted, mellow yellow, a soft farewell before winter settles in. What makes this lilac variety especially beloved among gardeners is its resilience. It's remarkably disease-resistant, especially to powdery mildew, which often troubles traditional lilacs. It asks for little more than full sun, well-drained soil, and an occasional deep drink during dry spells. In return, it offers years of carefree beauty and fragrance that never fails to lift the spirit. If you dream of a garden that's not just seen, but felt, a garden that welcomes you home with scent and softness, then planting a dwarf Korean lilac tree might just be the sweetest decision you'll ever make. 9. Amur maple, Acer Janala. If you've ever wished for a tree that feels like a quiet warrior, small, strong, and breathtaking when it chooses to reveal its true colors, then let me introduce you to the Amur maple. At first glance, the Amur maple might seem humble, almost modest. It's not the type of tree to shout for attention. Instead, It grows steadily, patiently, forming a rounded, inviting shape that fits so naturally into small gardens and cozy front yards. Standing between 15 and 20 feet tall at maturity, it knows exactly how to fill a space without ever overwhelming it. Through the warm months, the Amur maple's leaves offer a rich, glossy green, a backdrop of calm, steady life that anchors your landscape without fuss. But then comes fall, and suddenly, the tree you thought you knew erupts in a firework of color. Blazing scarlets, vivid oranges, deep ruby reds. The Amur maple doesn't just change for autumn, it transforms completely, setting your yard ablaze with a passion that feels almost impossible for such a small tree. And here's the beauty of it. This tree is as tough as it is beautiful. Native to the cold regions near the Amur River between Russia and China, it's built to withstand harsh winters, gusty winds, and even less than perfect soils. It adapts gracefully to urban environments, making it a perfect companion for gardeners who want resilience alongside stunning good looks. The Amur maple can also be grown as either a multi-stemmed large shrub or pruned into a charming small tree, depending on the style your heart desires. It thrives best in full sun to partial shade, and while it appreciates well-drained soil, it's forgiving enough to thrive even where other, more delicate trees might struggle. If you dream of a tree that doesn't need pampering, a tree that rewards your space with quiet strength most of the year and then leaves you breathless every autumn, the Amur maple might just be the steadfast companion your garden's been waiting for. And so, dear friends, as we step back and look at the trees we've explored today, one thing becomes beautifully clear. A small yard is never a limitation, it's an invitation. It's an invitation to choose with intention, to plant not just for size, but for spirit, to shape a space that tells your story, season after season, year after year. Whether it's the fiery passion of an Amur maple in autumn, the fairy tale blossoms of a flowering cherry in spring, or the quiet grace of a Japanese snowbell catching the summer breeze, each of these trees offers more than just shade or beauty. They offer presence, they offer memory. Maybe you already see it. That cozy bench tucked beneath a redbud's heart-shaped leaves. That front path framed by the sculptural dance of a Japanese maple. That small corner of earth that isn't just decorated, it's alive. Because in the end, gardening isn't about how much space you have. It's about how deeply you choose to love the space you're given. So, as you dream and plan your next step, remember, even the smallest yard can bloom into something extraordinary. All it needs is a little vision, a little care, and perhaps the right tree to begin the story. If today's journey inspired you, make sure to subscribe to Earthly Delights, where every week we explore more ways to turn simple spaces into sacred places of beauty, life, and joy. Thank you for sharing this moment with me, and as always, happy planting. 10. Japanese snowbell, Styrax japonicus. And now, as we near the end of our journey through these beautiful small space trees, it feels only right to finish with one that captures the heart through quiet elegance, the Japanese snowbell. Unlike trees that boast loud colors or towering heights, the Japanese snowbell invites you closer. It's a tree of subtlety, of delicate beauty that reveals itself like a secret to those who take the time to look. In late spring to early summer, while other gardens are shouting their colors, the snowbell leans in gently and offers its gift, clusters of bell-shaped white flowers that hang from slender, arching branches. Each bloom dangles like a tiny lantern, swaying slightly with every breath of wind, creating a soft, magical shimmer under the canopy. From below, it feels as if you're walking under a ceiling of glowing stars, each one close enough to touch but somehow too perfect to disturb. It's a tree that doesn't just add beauty to your yard, it changes the way you move through it, slowing you down, pulling you into a quieter, more mindful rhythm. Even after the blossoms fall, the Japanese snowbell continues to enchant. Its glossy, deep green leaves remain lush throughout the summer, casting a gentle shade that feels as welcoming as an old friend. As fall approaches, those leaves turn mellow shades of yellow, offering a final soft glow before winter takes its place, typically reaching about 20 to 30 feet tall. But with a graceful horizontal branching habit, the snowbell feels expansive without being overwhelming, a perfect balance for small gardens where structure and airiness must coexist. This tree prefers a spot with moist, well-drained soil and thrives best in partial shade or morning sun, where its delicate blooms are protected from the harsh afternoon heat. And while it may seem refined and fragile, it's remarkably resilient once established, rewarding thoughtful care with decades of gentle beauty. If you've been searching for a tree that brings not just beauty, but a sense of peace, a place to pause and breathe and simply be, the Japanese snowbell is ready to weave its quiet magic into your garden's story.